So good evening. We're back again a little bit earlier than normal, an hour before, on this wonderful Monday. Happy Easter Monday. It's not bank holiday in Spain, believe it or not. They had a whole week of bank holiday last week. Literally the whole week was Holy Week. So yeah, thanks to everybody who is enjoying the Easter festivities. And Jez, how are you, mate? Have you calmed down? Because I'm still on 50-50. I'm still ready to go at any point.
No, I haven't. I'm still very angry. In actual fact, I really didn't sleep well last night. I was that annoyed and upset about it. And I think that proved in my match reaction show last night. I lost the plot on quite a few occasions with a few people in the chat who were being dickheads. And yeah, I mean, if you haven't got anything positive to say, then don't bother talking. You know, I mean, it's just pathetic. And the classic comment of the night, which is so funny, was, "It's quite evident you've never been to any games."
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
You've never been to a game, Jez? Wow.
Never.
Wow. Who knew? Who knew? Who actually knew Jez has never been to a game? There you go. There you go. Anyway, Kenny, how are you, mate?
Well, the thing is, it's a calm before the storm. I can't help thinking and being concerned with the amount of chances that we're conceding in matches. You know, that we're not keeping clean sheets. And I think one of the things, that are going to stand us, apart from Man City in a negative sense, is the fact that they're scoring so many goals and they're not as conceding as much as we are. And that's the situation. If a team that's low on confidence like Liverpool can use the crowd to their advantage and nearly play virtually off the park and nearly smash you out to pieces. We were lucky yesterday. We're going to get into this. Let's not cut the BS. I can understand why a lot of fans were relieved to say they'll take the point. And I get that. But the fact is that we're still making individual errors. Players like who are meant to be defenders first and foremost are prioritising, like I said, domination on the ball rather than defending, and that's going to kill us because at the end of the day, we're going to be playing some really big games, and we may take our foot off the pedal. Some of the teams we're playing are fighting to stay in the Premiership. Some are going for the Champions League, and one's going to try and win the league. They're going to look at the Liverpool game and try and exploit that. They're going to look at the left-back situation and exploit that. So I can understand Jez's anger because, we've had the same concerns and nothing's changing because we're winning.
Yeah, fact, mate. This is, listen, we've been brilliant this season, but there's been games, Man United at Old Trafford, that game yesterday, where we've not managed the game properly. Like, and for me, what angered me when I watched it back today, I'm like, we're 2-0 up, we're cruising. Yeah, and obviously I had the sound on today. Obviously I couldn't do that yesterday. And it was quiet. So quiet. And you've literally gone to Anfield, probably played the best first 35 minutes, other than maybe Real Madrid, although Real Madrid did concede 2 goals in that first 20 minutes or whatever against Liverpool. Yeah. But then after that was probably the best performance I've seen at Anfield for a long time. But that 35 minutes yesterday was flawless. No chances. They had Robertson. That was it. They had one chance from Robertson. They had a shot that Salah put past the post in the first couple of minutes or whatever. But we were brilliant. And then as soon as we got that goal conceded against us, it was almost like panic stations set in. We were hanging on at half-time to get in at half-time 2-1 up. Then we come out second half and I'm thinking, okay, let's go again, rally the troops, let's dig in and go again. Didn't make any subs. Okay, fair enough. But then you let the manager, who's been in 5 Champions League finals, I think he's been in Klopp, he's been in 4 title races on the spin in England, right? He's been in title races in Germany, and you've let that manager, when they've been crap all season, make 3 subs before you. Yeah, that wound me up. And then he makes the Tierney sub. In fact, Tierney was warming up for about 10 minutes before he brought him on. And it was like, I'm screaming, just get Tierney on the pitch, man, because they were carving us open down that side. And obviously that's where they got their equaliser. Ben White switched off, didn't even see Firmino anywhere near him. And the rest is history. And let's be real, on another day, it could have been 6-5 either way. We had some good chances, man. Like, we had some very good chances. That chance is stoppage time. when Martinelli couldn't pass the ball properly. Like, and I said this yesterday, and I'll say it again. As good as Martinelli's been this season, that pass alone, I'll drop him. Yeah, where's your composure? Where is your composure? You have to teach these people a lesson sometimes. And people say it's harsh, you're reactionary, it's only like we're still top. That's cool. But if you want to win the league title, you have to win when you're 2-0 up, especially against a team that you know is going to come and have a go in the second half. And to be fair, they probably played their best football, or it's probably one of the best second half performances they've had all season. They've been crap all year. So that's why I'm very upset about it. But Jez, what did you make of that overall, mate? And give us your little breakdown and where it all went wrong.
Well, I don't think we could have started any better. I mean, let's be honest. Arsenal don't very often go to Anfield and go 1-0 up in 9 minutes. You know, that just doesn't happen with Arsenal there. And we got the second goal. Lovely goal from JEZ'S. Great cross, great goal. And I thought, no way, this is great. 2-0 up. 2-0 up at Anfield, and the crowd is nothing. And that's what I said time in and out yesterday and last night on my show. You keep that crowd quiet and you will win. That one stupid incident, naive thing that Xhaka did when he did what he did, and the crowd get up. As soon as you do that, any away ground or at Arsenal fans would do it. If you're losing 2-0 and something like that happens, the crowd gets up, they're on your back, and game over. And that's where we capitulated. And as for Lee, Kenny, some of those substitutions were joke fact. And that just shows the arrogance of Arteta in the fact that we're 2-1, or we may have been 2-2. You'll probably have to correct me on this. And he takes off Odegaard, brings on Kiwa, brings on a central, puts on a central defender in midfield. That says to me, I'm going defensive. I want to try and be more defensive because they're coming over us. Well, I don't think that's a very good tactical change. I think the tactical change at that point is you bring on Kieran Tierney, takes Zinchenko maybe up to midfield, take off Xhaka. Yeah. We've got a well-proven left back that can control Salah a lot more. And we haven't got a left back going inverted when we've got everybody firing at us. I just find Arteta at times is an idiot and an arrogant arsehole, because you shouldn't be doing that at Anfield. It's pointless. So, I mean, I'm still so incensed about it. I mean, I think Klopp must be looking at him thinking, thanks for that, mate. Thank you. You're going to get a draw, or we're going to get a win out of this now. And we were lucky to walk out that stadium with a point. And the laughable thing is, before I shut up, somebody was saying last night in the chat, oh, but we took 4 points off Liverpool this season. Well, I'd rather have 6, thank you.
It's true.
Jesus.
It's true, man. It's true. And the thing is, like, if we can all see what's happening, then surely the guy that's got the coaching badges sat next to one of the greatest managers we're ever going to see in our lives, Pep, like, played football for Arsenal, PSG, like Glasgow Rangers. He's played for some big football clubs. You'd think that he could see it, surely. And like the first half, Salah, there was 4 times, I think, counted 4 times they did that diagonal ball straight over to Salah. Yeah, and 4 times he didn't really do anything with it. He whistled 1 past the post in the first 10 minutes. Other than that, he just kept giving us the ball back. But it's like, surely you get in at half time and you say, right, Zinchenko, don't keep going. Don't do what you got to do, but make sure you're well aware that he's going to hug that touchline. He ain't going to come back and defend, because he don't defend Salah, which is why Trent gets more exposed than he probably should. But then we don't do that, and you let the game go and go and go. And you've got a left back on the bench who's won more trophies than any of this lot of this football club, by the way. Yeah, it doesn't matter whether it's in Glasgow, or Scotland, whatever. Doesn't matter. You've still got to win trophies. You've still got to have the mentality to get over the line, even when there weren't Rangers in the league. You've still got to go and do it. Like, you still got to go and win the treble. And they did that. He done that 3 times. Yeah. And you've got him sat on the bench who can cross a ball. He's quick. So I wouldn't say he could keep up with Salah in a straight foot race, but his positioning and his mentality and his cuteness, he'd be in the story, and Salah wouldn't be skinning people. Yeah. Trent would not be doing that to him, what he did to Zinchenko. Never in a million years would Tierney get nutmegged by Trent. Never in a million years. Yeah. And he let that go and go and go and go. And then he brings him on after the second goal. It's like, come on. If I'm Kieran Tierney, I'm fuming. I'm fuming anyway. Yeah, but if I'm Kieran Tierney, I'm saying to my agent, get me out of here, mate. This guy ain't got a clue what he's doing. Like, that game was there, and that's why I'm so angry with it. That game was there, that are 2-0 up. Any man, and this is why I doubt this manager, because he's done it at Old Trafford. You're 1-0 down, Saka equalises, and instead of sitting back 10 yards, you stay on the halfway line and don't make any subs. And then by the time you make the subs, we're 3-1 down. Like, what do you make of it, Kenny?
Well, the fact is that I think key point is that when we were on top, we looked at the world. We're in the thing about it that upsetting a lot of people, and it's mystifying me, is that we outran them for the first 35 minutes. We outpassed them. We outfought them. But even then, the warning signs were still there. And I think we just got to be honest with ourselves, because if you think about it, after we scored, Liverpool had a clear-cut chance through Robertson. And then when we got the second one to make 2-0, even before Salah got his goal, we had a warning shot when we were on top where Salah got through, and they got in behind us pretty easily because they exploited the fact that even though we were quicker to the ball, we're winning. We were making sure we're available for every ball. We were pressing them into mistakes. Our pace off the ball was troubling them, because we were playing that inverted wing backs situation, and because we were trying to condense midfield, they were still getting down both flanks. So that was the warning sign. So people say, yeah, the crowd got involved, and because Granit Xhaka had a Willie Young moment and behaved like a pork chop, but there were still warning signs. The problem we had when it's 2-0 is that we didn't get the third goal. You know, you spoke about yesterday's chance when we got in behind, Saka puts that crosses in, and then Jesus can't convert it. That was the moment to kill the game off and make it an easy game. What Liverpool did is that their crowd decided to think, you know what, we're here for a fight. We can't let them wound us up. And as I said before, second half they came out, but they had the kind of the cushion, the encouragement of a goal, pullback goal. And after that, it was all Liverpool, and that's where we made a mistake. Because I say it once, I say it 1,000 times. Two things that are criminal in football: not putting the game to bed when you're on top, missing chances, but conceding clear-cut chances. Even when we're on top, we conceded clear-cut chances, conceded a goal back. The second half, we committed one of the biggest criminal acts ever, apart from folding. When we folded, and the reason why we folded, it was down to one player, Granit Xhaka. And it's not because of what he did, it's how he acted afterwards. He wound up Alexander-Arnold, got in his face, but when Kanate came in for him, didn't want to know. Kanate was key yesterday, because you think about it, Martinelli didn't want any business of him, because he was tackling and following through. He was the one who led the press. He was the one who was the most aggressive player on that pitch, and we were scared of him. Xhaka didn't want to know. Did you see that second half when he slide tackled him? He looked up, he saw it was Kanate. He went,
yeah, no thanks.
You see when Martinelli went.
I've seen the clip of Odegaard. Go on, mate. Go on.
Yeah, you see when Martinelli went to him, no thanks. That was key. They bullied us and intimidated us in that second half. And then once they were able to intimidate us, they were able to bring on Thiago and Alcantara to make his passes. How much space did he have on that pitch? That's an issue. You're talking about that. You're talking about the fact that Zinchenko was playing inverted and let traffic come past him. There was another problem we didn't have. we couldn't get near Tio Alcantara. The reason why we couldn't get near him is because of the fact that Liverpool pressing us, protecting him, and then that gave him space. There was how many no-look passes did he make? How many off passes the outside of did he make? He was key to them getting back the game. We couldn't deal with him. And then because we couldn't deal with him, he was able to even pick his passes down Robertson's end, down the left-hand side, and then pick his passes down Trent Alexander's end, because he knew that Zinchenko was inverting. Martinelli was waiting for us to go on the counter-attack. It wasn't just Zinchenko, it was Martinelli gambling and thinking, right, if the ball breaks free, I'm free. I've got a free down that left-hand side, and their defenders have to come out of the comfort area, and we can have a 3-on-2. That is what done us. That's what done us. And Arteta never picked up on that. He didn't pick up on the obvious one, which was Zinchenko, but he didn't pick up on the fact that we needed to stop Thiago from making those passes. Those 3 substitutions by Klopp got him back the game and should have won the game. Thank God for Aaron Ramsdale. Because if Aaron Ramsdale wasn't in that goal, we'd have got beaten 4 or 5-2, and not one Arsenal fan would have complained about it. Because what happened, he made our first half relevant. Because we lost 3-2, or even lost a couple of goals, everything we did in that first half would have been abolished. It would have been irrelevant. And that's the issue. Where Arteta got it wrong, and he really gets it wrong, is the reaction to the substitutions. Taking Odegaard off, I agree with that. Because he was a passenger in that game. We didn't need him that game.
Did you see him duck out of two challenges that were 60-40 in his favour, and he ducked them both?
Yeah. Who were they against, though? Who was they against?
One was against Curtis Jones, and the other one was against, I think, I may be wrong, but I think it was Trent or Konate. Yeah. But one was definitely Curtis Jones. It was a header, and he bottled it. He stopped.
Yeah, but the thing is, the substitutions were all wrong, mate. He could have all wrong. He could have brought on a midfielder to say, right, let's stop that at source. Let's get on Thiago and stop him from making those passes. He didn't do that. When it was too late, he brought on Tierney for Zinchenko. Too late. Those substitutions and his inability to react to Klopp substitutions cost us yesterday. That's on him. But again, it's on us as well. As footballers, we should be able to use our brain. We should think, you know what? They're pressing us out of the game. This guy's getting a freedom to make his passes. How about stopping that at source? If you got into Thiago and stopped him making those passes, he wouldn't have been able to get Robertson into the game, or Nunez when he came into the game, and Firmino. All their players had space, and that's where Arteta went wrong.
I just want to highlight this comment because this is factually incorrect, my friend. Big up for watching, but Kieran Tierney has won 12 trophies. He's won 3 Scottish Cups, 3 Scottish League Cups, and he's won 5 league titles, and then a FA Cup as well. Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus have won 4 league titles. Both of them have won 4 league titles, and they've both won 4 cups as well. And then 4 league cups. Yeah, 1 FA Cup. So that's 5. Add the 4 league titles. So come on, mate. They're 3 behind Kieran Tierney. And if you want to add Community Shields in, well, both of them have won 3, which puts them on to 9 trophies? 9, 12. So that puts them on 12. Well, Tierney will still be above them because he's won 1 Community Shield as well. Come on, if we're going to use this trophy logic and try and chat rubbish, mate, at least get it right. Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Kieran Tierney has won more trophies than anyone at our football club. I don't even know why anyone's questioning it.
I think what it is, Lee, is that I think that it's just showing, some people are good mathematicians. If you use stats, people are going to try and out-stat people, innit? That's the problem with the statisticians. I always say with statisticians, if you're more about stats, then you don't watch a game of football. You don't go.
In fact, this comment's spot on as well. Charity Shield isn't a trophy, which is why I never included it in his 12 trophies. But if you want to include Community Shields, Jesus and Zinchenko got 3 each, which puts them on 12 trophies. Kieran Tierney is already on 12 without the 1 Community Shield that he's won. Either way, Tierney wins. And it's mad that he's always sat on the bench. And for me, I've never, all of these little hipsters and all of these people that speak about XG and XA and all this crap, they love an inverted fullback because it makes them sound more clever when they're speaking about football. You know, football is a very simple game, right? Somebody put a comment in very early on their stream saying Pep got rid of Zinchenko and he got rid of Cancelo. And he's now playing with 4 centre-backs across that back line. He's always ahead of the curve. He's got rid of his left-back that plays for us, and he's got rid of one of the best left-backs in the world, who's now gone to Bayern. Like, and they're not doing too bad, are they? It's crazy. You don't do none of this inverted crap. Like, Nathan Ake doesn't go inverted. Like, it's ridiculous. He's done the whole inverted thing. That ship's sailed. When I watch Real Madrid, you know, I don't see their left-back inverting or their right-back inverting. All of this mixing the game up and doing this and doing that. No. That works to a certain degree, and it's part of the reason.
Klopp inverts, though. Klopp inverted yesterday with Trent, innit? Because if you looked at how they played, I think if you think about it, it was just as much Henderson coming down that right hand side than it was. So I think that's where they got the extra man. They got the extra man because Henderson, you know, like I said, used his footballing brain. He said, right, this is how I'm going to get in. I'm going to help Trent out here because they think Trent's going to make the passes. I'm going to make the angles and I'm going to get Salah. Said, get out of my way. You get in the middle where we can serve you. And I think that's another tactical kind of you know, like on-field change that again Arteta should have been using his eyes. I said, hang on here, watch Henderson. Yeah, tactically,
just get one to sit on him or Jack or whoever. Just say, you man mark him. Just man mark him. With Thiago. But it's the thing, inverted works to a certain degree, and it is part of the reason why we are top of the league. But in certain times, it worked for 35 minutes yesterday. And then second half, it's like, okay, now it's not working anymore. And it's at that point you earn your money. And if we don't win this league, I'm going to have to rage it up. Because let's not forget here, lads, and everyone in the chat, we've got bigger fish to fry. We threw 3 cup competitions away to go and win this. Yeah, so if we don't win it, you better win it, mate. Here's an interesting stat for everyone as well, because apparently Kieran Tierney's so injury prone. Yeah, get rid of him. He's always injured. Kieran Tierney has missed 90 games in his career through injury. Zinchenko, apparently the greatest left-backs he inverts, has also missed 90 in his career as well. And I think they're the same age, aren't they? Tierney's 25. I think Zinchenko's 25, isn't he? Pretty sure he's 25 as well. Let's have a look. Oh, Zinchenko's 26, to be fair, just turned. And Tierney will be 26, so he's 6 months older, Zinchenko, than Tierney. But either way, they've both missed 90 games. One of them's apparently the greatest left-back in the world, and the other one's apparently always injured. Mad, isn't it? When you actually go and do your research. Anyway, where do we go from here, Jez? Obviously, we've got a whole week until the West Ham game. Manchester City are playing in midweek. They've got Bayern Munich tomorrow, I think. What do you say? Because I looked at the fixtures earlier, and if we beat West Ham, which I think we will, and we beat Southampton, which I think we will, Man City have only got to play Leicester before we play them, which means if we win both of our games between now and then, and they win their one, we'll be 9 points clear of them, but they'll have 2 games in hand. We're going into that Man City game. Yeah, and that is then park the bus. Just get out of there with something. Yeah, don't do anything dumb. Just don't do anything stupid. Just park the bus. Yeah, take a 0-0, take a 1-1, do something and get out of there. Because if we lose that game, then they've got their 2 games in hand. They'll be above us. But where do you see us going? Are you confident we can still get to the Etihad and get something? Or are you still confident we can win the league? Or do you think that he's highlighted his weakness yesterday?
Well, before I get into that, I think after yesterday's game, it's showing the fan base that have all come out and they are going to accept Arsenal finishing second. There's a guy in your chat there, and he was in my chat last night, and he's just made the classic comment, give him another 3 seasons to win the title. No. If Arteta does not win the Premier League this season, he has to go. Fact. He's thrown away the FA Cup, League Cup, Europa League Cup for the last 2 seasons. So if he doesn't win the Premier League, which he obviously wants to win because he's gone all out for it, then he must go. But to get back to your point, Lee, we've got West Ham is a must win. No excuse. No excuse. And Arteta has got to get that defence correct. We're weak. And I'm sorry, I know he absolutely loves Zinchenko, but if Zinchenko is your favourite left back, midfielder, left mid back, whatever you want to call him, sorry, you've got to think the bigger picture, man. You've got to think about winning the Premier League, and that means you have a proper established left back in that position, one that can help support Martinelli and can feed decent crosses, because we don't have many great players that can cross a bloody football. Let's get it right. And you don't put in an unproved Premier League central defender who you bought in January. And that's not much match time. And you stick him in bloody midfield against Liverpool. That's nonsensical, man. Now, I've sort of changed position a bit. I was super confident we were going to walk out of Anfield yesterday with 3 points. Super confident. I predict 2-1. And I said that all week. We didn't. We capitulated and we came out of a point. Some people find that acceptable. Sorry, I do not. I accept nothing but the best. And that was not the best. Arteta, you've got to seriously sit down, have a talk with yourself in the mirror and say, you cocked it up yesterday. You cost us that game with your stupid substitutions, way too late. You stand there. And if you do that at West Ham, who are on a new manager bounce, dare I say, with Roy, you know what I mean?
That's Palace, mate. That's Palace, not West Ham, mate.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, yes, I get confused. Oh, you know, for some reason, I always mix up. I don't fucking know why. I always do that with Palace and West Ham.
They played good football yesterday, mate. Croydon Roy's got them flying, mate.
Yeah,
they were looking like Barcelona yesterday. They were quality.
I had them down at 2-0 loss. Anyway, that's another story. If we don't go to West Ham, man, and I have to say, I've never been to that ground since they've been there, so I have no idea what it's like. But I think we've got to win. We've got to walk out there with 3 points. And if we don't, I think we're in deep shit, personally. Sorry. You know, Man City away. We know that's going to be a massive, massive, massive game. And I know they've got European games in between, but they've got a decent squad. They can accommodate that. And they're going to have seen that game yesterday, and they're going to know how they can come at us and take us apart if we don't get it right. And I'm a bit like you, Lee. I'd be more than happy if we went there and parked the bus. Walk out there with a draw.
In the chat as well, man. He says this guy doesn't have a clue. I think he's talking about you. If he weren't, he was talking about me. Email me, mate. My email's in the description. I'll send you the link, and you can come and tell us what the clue is. How about that?
Fact.
How about that, mate?
Yeah.
Because I'm sick and tired of these little fucking bellends, mate. Every fucking day of the week, these dickheads sit there chatting shit. Yeah, so how about email me? My email is in the description of this stream, mate. Email me. And I will send you the link, and you can come and tell the 600 people.
They won't do it.
They won't. This is the point. They're dickheads. Shut up, innit? Like, just shut up.
Think about it. There's another guy called the Arsenologist. He calls himself the Arsenologist. My arse, mate. He's got a Jamaican flag, and he said something about when I used the fact we said about Chelsea, and I said, well, hang on here. What I meant by Chelsea is that they've got players who can hurt us. I never said that Chelsea were prolific, mate. I just said they got players who can hurt us, but that's the problem.
They hear what they want, and then they make a whole new sentence out of it.
We know the people who slag all three of us off. Just look at who they subscribe to, and it says a lot. It's the same amount of accounts they just subscribe to, the same people they subscribe to, and with respect, right? I don't feel anything because the people they subscribe to ain't got a double down knowledge of football or of Arsenal that we have. Most of them, the people they subscribe to, are people just there for fame anyway.
Facts. But this is the thing that winds me up with it, Kenny, yeah? Every single day, these people chat shit, right? But every single day they come and watch it, you ain't got a clue. Only in England, i.e. English football clubs, not English people, some of them are English, Yeah, but only English football clubs have this. Everything has to be sparkles, unicorns, and so positive.
Yeah.
I watched Lyon yesterday. I watched that Lyon game against Rennes before the Palace Leeds Palace game. The whole way through that first half at Lyon, they were getting booed. Every time one of their own players touched the ball, Lyon fans booed them. Yeah, they were getting pammed. It was only 1-0. They were losing 1-0 in the first half. And from the minute that goal went in, that whole stadium were booing every single touch a Lyon player had. They booed them off at half-time. Lyon came out second half and slapped the team 3-1. Yeah? Is anyone talking about, oh, you're so toxic, booing your own players? Get in the bin. This BS only happened in England.
You've got to remember, Lee, a lot of those people who criticise, I say it respectfully, they don't go to games. And I don't go to games anyway. So what they do is that they will look at the podcasts or channels which are most popular, and the people who criticise us are subscribers to the most popular Arsenal channel, and that's a fact. We're an antithesis of that channel. The fact that me and you've been on that channel, they sense that we've got beef with that channel, which we haven't. We just don't have any loyalty to that channel. But because they think we've got beef with that channel, all three, as far as they're concerned, all three of us are persona non grata, and we're like we're the devil incarnate.
Yeah, mate, it just makes me laugh. Like I said, I live in Spain, obviously. Mate, Real Madrid players get chased out the fucking ground if they lose. Yeah, they were getting booed again at the weekend. They lost to Villarreal. Yeah, PSG turn up at the training ground. Sporting Lisbon turn up at the training ground. Their fans. Yeah, all this. Oh, you have to be positive. Positive for what? We were 2-0 up at Anfield, and the manager fucked it up. Yeah, what? We're supposed to sit here and say, oh well, nobody expected us to be in a title race. No, it don't work like that, mate. Yeah, because when we were 8 points clear on the 12th of January, which we were, and City had no games in hand, and we were 8 points fucking clear. Yeah, I expect to win the league. Yeah, Aston Villa's the prime example of this. At the start of the season, I've got a couple of mates that are Villa. At the start of the season, them two lads said to me, we want Europe this season. Whether it be Conference League, Europa League, we want Europe. When they were sat 16th with 12 points out of 13 games, or 13 points after 12 games, wherever it was, they then said, well, if we stay up, then happy days. So their expectations changed based on what they were watching. And now Unai Emery's got them 6th. So now it's back on again. Our expectations at the start of the season weren't win a league. Well, we wanted to win the league, but not a single Arsenal fan said we're going for the title. So they want to be these plucky little losers. Yeah, that, well, at least we got a draw. At least we didn't lose at Anfield. No, mate. We were 8 points clear on the 12th of January. Yeah, we are still 6 points clear. Game in hand or not, we're 6 points clear. Win the league. Yeah, we've kicked ourselves out of 3 cup competitions.
I've only got one thing to say to those people, right? Because it's funny you should mention Anfield, because it's because obviously we're talking about Hillsborough, given that the impeccable respect shown by our team. I'm proud of the way our players reacted to that, and I'm also glad that they went to the memorial yesterday. But every time I talk about Anfield, I always have. Every time we play Liverpool Anfield, I think our catchphrase should be "Always Arsenal."
Big up to Dinish, man. Thanks for the donation, buddy. Make sure you smash the likes up as well. Sub to JEZ'S, Arsenal history and more. Link in description with Kenny Ken 1972 Insta. And afternoon, Lee and everyone. Arsenal dropped 2 points yesterday. As a Liverpool fan, where we dropped points against Tottenham last season, that cost us. And it's true. Yeah, didn't you equalise? Didn't Firmino equalise in stoppage time, or was that the season before?
Yeah, that was last season. I think Son got made put them 1-0 up. It was, and then they got an equaliser for Firmino. But all intents and purposes, that point that Spurs got them in the top 4, and that point that Liverpool dropped cost them 2 points
in the league.
Title. Yeah.
And this is the thing, and this is the mentality, of Real Madrid. I use them all the time. We smashed the stadium down with this lot behind me to be like them. Right? Well, their mentality is every time we do not win, i.e. lose or draw, it's a disaster. And then there's to be a full, sit down and fucking work out what's gone on here. None of this, it don't matter. Bigger fish to fry. We've got Champions League on Wednesday against Chelsea. You go and have a look at Real Madrid Twitter, translate all of the comments underneath. All them Real Madrid fans are absolutely seething they lost to Villarreal. And they ain't going to win the league even if they beat them. but every loss should be a disaster. Every draw should be a disaster. You're a big club. You're Real Madrid. Yeah, and that's the mentality we should have. We move to be like them. Bayern Munich, I see when Bayern Munich sacked their manager, Nagelsmann, 90% of the comments on that tweet that was posted out by Bayern, 90% of the comments were from not Bayern Munich fans, all sitting there saying, oh, it's a disgrace. But the Bayern Munich fans in the comments were saying, yeah, he's been shit since he's got here. The football stinks. Like, and this is the mentality. Oh, yeah, but he's in this competition. No. You have to win every game. And if you don't, at least have a go. Yeah, do what's required to win a game. If you were 2-0 up, you win that game. Yeah, if you're 2-0 up, you win the game. That's it. If you're Aston Villa, for example, and you're 2-0 up at Anfield, you could understand the draw. We're Arsenal. You're 2-0 up. 2-0 up after 35, 40 minutes or whatever. We should be winning the game. It's as simple as that. And if people want to cry about it, cry. Yeah, at the end of the day, these are the same people that have sat there saying, don't matter about losing to Brighton in the Cup. Don't matter about that. Don't matter about losing to City in the FA Cup. No, that don't matter. I don't matter about losing to Sporting, mate. Yeah, we're going to win the league. Bigger fish to fry. But then they'll sit there if we finish second and say nobody expected us to win it anyway. Absolute loser mentality. And this lot laugh at Tottenham. There's a joke.
There's one guy exactly. He was on mine last night. He was saying. Let me go back and see. He was saying FH. His name is, and it's basically we go for league next season. We are ahead of schedule. Top 4 is the goal. Wanker.
No, the process is over. The process is over. Yeah. The process was over from the fact that if you're challenging the title, that's the process over. So if you don't win a title this season, the mentality is that you become City's close challengers. It's not like Jamie Carragher said yesterday. Jamie Carragher was saying that if Arsenal win the league, it gives everyone encouragement. No, what it does, it enables Arsenal to think, right, we're going to build our destiny. We're going to build teams, and we're going to dominate football now. Not challenge City. It's about a takeover, which means that's what the process is about. Arsenal challenge for the league, and in being the most dominant team in the country. That is the process is over now. It's because we're challenged for the title. So when people say we're ahead of schedule, there's no schedule, mate. You know,
we're 19 years behind the schedule.
Yeah, he's got every play he's wanted. He's got the system he's wanted. He's got his players now. So the fact we're challenged for the title is the beginning of what we want to be our year of being a team that is taken seriously in Europe and seriously in the Premiership. And then the next step is to dominate.
Mate, the thing is, you're right. Yeah, he's signed 21 players since he's been our manager. 21. So how many more does he have to sign before the process can actually come to winning a title? Like, listen, I still think we've got a good chance to win it. I still think we will win it. Yeah, but if we don't win it, I don't want to hear any excuses. Yeah, this guy was 8 points clear. Yeah, and through 3 cup competitions in the bin that this whole fan base online pretty much accepted was fantastic. Great. Yay. We're out the Europa League. Yeah, and when people want to sit there and say, well, nobody expected us to win the league at the start of the season, cool, nobody did. But all of this lot that are saying that expected us to win the Europa League because they were all saying top 4 in Europa League. Yeah? So it works both ways, isn't it? But this lot want to rewrite history every fucking day, and that don't happen here. Yeah,
they're all noise, mate. You've got to see them as noise because the fact is that they're just basically opinions. You know, they're opinions. But the fact is that they think their opinions are more than bigger than anyone else's because they because people listen to them because they follow the majority. You know what the majority feel. The majority of fans are positive. They are behind Mick Arteta, and that's a fact. We're not convinced by Arteta's methods, but the majority of fans are. So the safe place for your podcast, the safe place for all of you guys in terms of like your Twitter accounts or not so much Instagram because I think everyone's got their own opinions. But in terms of Twitter and YouTube, if you back the club, you're fine. You know, the biggest
and if you don't, you're seen as negative and toxic. Why are these people so go on?
Yeah, the biggest fan club, the biggest fan channel is a backer of the club. You look at if you were to have a skim through their fan cams, and we all do because we're voyeurs. You don't have to listen to fan cams. You just look at the titles; they're all positive.
Yeah, but this is my point. In what world do you live where everything's positive? Like, you're so toxic because I've got my own fucking brain. Yeah, because my standards are not on the floor. Yeah, because I was there when they were telling us we were going to move to compete with Real Madrid. Right? So I'm saying, and this is how you can tell the age of a lot of these people, right? And the ones that are older that have seen us win stuff, they should be ashamed of themselves even more, if I'm being completely honest, because they've actually seen us win stuff, like league titles. Yeah, the ones that haven't, you can kind of go, okay, cool.
They're businessmen, though. You got to remember, it's about a business. You know, if you look at it now, what's happening now with the Sky TV, BT Sport, they are getting rid of their most expensive presenters and their most expensive reporters. So what's happening now? All these YouTubers now, there's a vacancy for them because they're cheap. So if they're some little bit positive, they'll get a gig. Remember, Soccer AM's going there. So the next big cabinet rank is Saturday Social. All this stuff about, you know, that you hear from people saying, oh yeah, we're disruptors to the mainstream and that, you know, YouTube's it. No, the mainstream are giving you a chance because you're cheap, not because you're any good. And I think that's the thing is, as long as they're
cheap and people of that age group will watch them.
Yeah,
and their viewing figures go up, which means they get more sponsorship money, which means that they're saving a fortune. They ain't got to pay. They ain't got to pay. What's his name that was doing? What's the ex-fucking footballer? Jimmy Bullard. I mean, come on.
They're paying a lot of money, and they're paying John Fendi a lot of money. Think about it. You look at the YouTubers now. You look at some of the YouTubers now.
Mate, this got to bend over for a fucking 888.com fucking deal for 200 quid.
On Sky Sports News, some of these managers are getting interviewed by certain YouTubers. I'm thinking, hello, what's happening there? It's cheap.
And they have a bigger reach. They know how to market themselves. Yeah. So now if we get them in, it's the same with the journalists though at Arsenal. Journalists back in the day, you guys know this better than I do. Journalists back in the day stand there and actually ask proper questions. But then the football club at some point realised, actually, these journalists have a big pull within the fan base. So why don't we get them in our pocket, give them a little story about Thomas Partey signing before anyone else gets it. Yeah. Make him look amazing. Now more people are back him and follow him. Yeah. Charles Watts, I'm on about. Yeah. Oh, let me give Ornstein the Josh Kroenke interview. Yeah. And we'll feed him a little bit. He can put all the tweets out 1 minute before we announce a new deal. And they've got them in the pocket. And it's because they're cheap. Yeah. They're not going to take any financial gain out of it in terms of Arsenal paying them.
How comes Edu and the club all of a sudden nice to the biggest fan channel? What's happening there? Because apparently the biggest fan channel was at Wenger out, but they never were. That banner belonged to. I know who that banner really belongs to, because I see them at matches. I know that AFTV were not part of the Wenger out brigade. I know the people who did that, and I was in meetings with them when they were doing it. No, I didn't see any AFTV person there. Not one of them. I should know I was there. But what's happened is that because a few people on that channel happen to be Wenger out and they were vociferous with their claims and using catchphrases to ask him to go, they became the Wenger out brigade. So really and truly, a lot of Arsenal fans who dislike that channel should need to think, well, hang on it. It's probably us they should dislike because they were never part of it. They just used that to gain. They used the Wenger out situation to become popular and get their views and get their million views. And then when it became unfashionable, they've now gone the positive route. Because you remember right now, since COVID, the podcasts are now in, and watch-alongs are now in. Fan cams on that channel don't make a cent.
No, it's true. It's true, mate. Listen, the easiest way to get views on the internet is to go with what's fashionable. That's it. If I'd been jumping all over the process, like from day one, this channel will probably be on about 300k subs. But I'm going to say what I want to say because I believe what I'm saying, and I believe that what I'm saying should be how we should be going for a title every season. It's not we're overachieving if we finish second anyway. What a bunch of losers. Yeah, and it winds me up because like channels like that and others out there. Yeah, and I'm not going to say all the names because I could bury quite a few of these channels with one fucking video upload, mate. Yeah, but that day will come. But my point is, they chat the biggest amount of bollocks, and then they come off camera, and they say something completely different off camera. We've been there, we've seen it. Yeah, we've seen the shit happen, mate. Yeah, and it winds me up because people go, "Oh yeah, that, oh yeah."
Wait, me and Lee have been in meetings with some of these guys, and we know them inside out. We know what they really think.
Yep, 100%. But anyway, well, yeah, there you go. There's one straight away. I think they were talking to Jurgen Klopp at one point yesterday as well. Seen that doing the rounds today. But that's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, I don't blame the media companies or the clubs for doing that. Yeah, because the club want to get as much PR out there as possible. But this is where fans have to use their head. Yeah, like that the myth that Kieran Tierney is always injured. Well, he ain't been injured for over a year. He ain't been in since Thomas Partey's been here, which was after Tierney signed. Partey's been injured more days and missed more games than Kieran Tierney has. But let's get rid of Tierney, but nobody does their research. It's just somebody throw it out there with a big account. Yeah, and it's like watching the news. And something could come on the news and you go, oh, yeah, that must be true because it's on the news. So when a big channel puts something out there, oh, that must be true. Nobody actually goes and does their own fact finding. Yeah, and then that narrative spreads like wildfire real quick. Yeah, but then when you go against it because you've actually done your research, nah, you're fucking toxic, mate. You're toxic. It's like, well, not really, mate. 2004, Peter Illwood told us we're moving to compete with Real Madrid. It's facts. It's in fucking black and white. Yeah, well, 2023, we're still waiting.
The thing is, Lee, it's like this FH, what his lead name is, you know, he's just saying there.
Does that stand for fucking horrendous? Is that what it stands for?
Yeah, isn't it? Or it's somebody we know with a different name who comes in regularly. Jez, stop your agenda against Arteta. Well, if you actually watch and listen and you've got a bloody brain, you would understand I've actually been supporting him this season to the point.
Yeah, again, Jez, you're not allowed to say anything against anything at the club because we all have to just pretend that everything's amazing. It's all great. And if you say anything out of turn, mate, you're negative.
Well, the
Real Madrid have this issue. They don't, do they? Because you know what? Real Madrid have probably got more global fans. Real Madrid have got more global fans, I'd imagine, than any other club. Yeah, because I'd imagine that 99.999% of Madrid fans do not live in Spain. But then you look all over their social media, and every single one of their global fans, pretty much, that's not Spanish, is on the same page. Why? Because that standard doesn't drop. And if you want to drop it, yeah, you're fucking off. Yeah, this club, you have to drop your standards so low, yeah, that when we finish fifth, yeah, that's seen as an overachievement because we were in a mess when he took over. Oh, we were such a mess. And but if we finish second, nobody expected it anyway. Like, we're overachieving. Why do they have to make us losers? And I'll tell you why. 99% of these people that do this shit don't fucking go to games. They've never been to an away ground. They don't know what happens in an away ground when you're getting beaten 4-0 at Anfield. Yeah, they don't hear what's going on when you're at Crystal Palace and Bellerin's getting dog's abuse and that before you're not fit to wear the shirt and all that. Yeah, could you imagine? I wasn't at Palace that day. You were there, Kenny, right? Yeah, I guarantee it was fucking horrible. Yeah, but you're not allowed to do that online, mate, because that's...
I think Palace away. Palace away, that was one of the worst atmospheres to be an Arsenal fan. It was one of the worst... It was one of the worst, how to say it, undercurrent of feeling ever towards a team and a manager. It was a very unpleasant place to be, extremely unpleasant. It was unpleasant from kickoff. It was unpleasant during the game. Loads of people walked out. It was so unpleasant. You know, I marked down that day. I still remember it the day, April 2017. That was when that was probably the day when Arsenal fans, you know, the people who were back behind them, Mr. Wenger, started to leave, and then the next season was just an absolute mess. especially towards the end when people just weren't turning up. Now, now, reason why we're angry is because we've got ourselves in such a key position that we know now we can challenge for the title. We know now we can get players to challenge the title, and we want to keep those standards the same. The criticism towards Arteta isn't personal. It's a reaction to a match. Remember, this is a match reaction, and this is what we're doing. We're getting criticised because we've made observations of match reaction to a match that everyone watched. I get it that Liverpool. I get it that we have a situation with Liverpool that, you know, at Anfield they're fantastic, and that we were lucky to get away with a point. And I do take that point. I was one of the people who thought we're going to lose because it's Liverpool. I do rate Liverpool very highly, not because of the reputation, but I rate their front three. I rate Nunez, I rate Firmino, I rate Jota, and I rate Salah. And I rate the fact that at Anfield, if you give them an inch, they will take a mile. I rate their fans when they're on top. I know their fans are like a library when it's not going for them. When you get them, I said, up for it, and you get them, rowded and riled up, it's only going to be in one way. And the reason why I'm upset is that we didn't react to it. I don't care that Man City lost that season. I don't care Man United lost 7-0. I'm an Arsenal fan, and we should have been watching what happened with those games with Man City and Man United and thought, right, don't do this. Forget the crowd. Look at the football, because we've got whatever happened. They were going to be 12th man. Look at Thiago's strengths. Try and nullify them. We didn't do that. That's where we failed. Try and read the game and see, hang on here, why is Henderson going out right-hand side and creating overlaps and giving Salah 3 shots and goal, allow Salah cut in? On the pitch, we should have dealt with that. That's why we're critical, because when we were winning, we were still making those individual errors. We're still, if you look at the first minute against Leeds could have scored in the first minute, even though we won 4-1. That is repeated mistakes. That is what we're talking about. Repeated mistakes. Yeah, we're happy we won, but just think, we kept a few more clean sheets and had good defensive habits. We could have won that game 2-0 or 3-0.
Yeah,
we didn't, because we got bad habits as collective habits, as a defence, and as a team when we don't have the ball. It's no coincidence that teams are creating clear-cut chances, and we're still not doing it, because we're winning 3-2 against Bournemouth, because we won 4-1 against Leeds, because we won 4-1 against Palace. You know what I mean? It's not perfect, but it has to be eradicated, because we're going to get our asses spanked one day.
We've conceded 9 goals in the last 8 games.
Yeah, one day, and that's all we're saying. We're saying we're ecstatic that we're challenged for the title. And, all we've wanted was a title challenge. But the fact is that when you see repeated mistakes, you have to call them out. That's what a football match is about, analysing it. And if it comes out across as negative, well, so be it. So be it.
But these people must stay in their house all day and not go out, Kenny, because if they think that somebody's talking about, say, Odegaard, for example, wimp, disappeared, bottled out of 2 challenges yesterday. Yeah. He was favourite to win. Yeah, that happens. And we've seen him do this at Newcastle away, Tottenham away, and now at Anfield this season. And it's like, when the chips are really down, some of these players aren't mentally strong enough to dig in and do something. Yeah. To be fair, the substitution for him off and Kivior on was ridiculous, pathetic.
Yeah, but the substitution of him was right. He had to go off.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He had to go off, but then he's looking at the bench going, "Oh well, we paid 35 million for that geezer," and everyone was telling me he's going to be the next Bernardo Silva. Why ain't he playing then?
True,
because the manager knows he ain't good enough. Yeah, so we've wasted 35 million on a player that ain't hardly going to ever play for us. We put a lad on, yesterday, Kivior. That was his 2nd appearance in an Arsenal shirt in the league. His first was 4 minutes against Palace. And we put him on at Anfield when we're trying to hang on. Like, it makes no sense. Yeah, but if people are so soft that they can't act that, number one, don't watch it. Yeah, and if you are watching it, I don't give 2 fucks. Yeah, because at the end of the day, if you want to live in this little pathetic little bubble of everything sparkles and unicorns and that, when it comes crashing down, you'll be the first ones out again. Oh, well, excuse. And people like you are the reason my football club is fucking buried. Yeah, and it is buried, even if we win the league this season. That's it now. If we win the league this season, this lot won't ever want us to win another one. Oh, we can't win it every year. We get back in the Champions League next season. Once we get knocked out of that in the round of 16 or in the group stage, oh, well, it was the first year back in it. And what? What do you mean first year back in it? Go in there. Villarreal qualified off of winning the Europa League and got to the semi-final of the Champions League off the back of it. And they were beating Liverpool at one point in that semi. They'd beaten Bayern and they'd beaten Juve. They weren't sitting there going, oh, well, it's our first year in it. Like, this loser mentality is only rife in English football clubs. And that is because the English football clubs have more PR than any other clubs on the planet.
Lee, I think one of the problems, this is just my personal view, from what I witnessed and having talked to my grandson, who's 9. At school nowadays, it's not the aim to be an achiever. It's not the aim to win. It's to participate. Yeah? I mean, this has nothing to do with football, okay? Very quickly. Not this Christmas before, I built and made him a radio-controlled off-road vehicle. Because after school, one of his teachers was taking the kids and like they could do off-roading with these radio-controlled cars, racing and all that sort of stuff. And he got told by his teacher, you can't use that because it's unfair on the others because this one is far too superior.
And what? Get them to make better ones then?
Well, get your parents to build you and buy you a better one. You know, it wasn't ridiculous. Thousands of pounds. It was, I think I paid with the radio controlled crap about 200 quid. And they've got ones that cost about 50 quid, which break every 2 minutes. And his one is far quicker and it's got proper suspension and all that stuff. Oh, well, that's not really fair that you use that because you always win. Fact. And that, I'm sorry to say, I think is the mentality of a lot of, I'm not going to say just Arsenal, but a lot of other supporters in the fact that, oh, well, you know, it's okay to come second. Guy last night said to me, 8th, 5th, 2nd. And I said to him, well, we haven't come second. He said, oh, but if we come second this season, it'll be okay because nobody expects us to win. And I just let it rip at him.
But this is the point. They're already thinking about coming second. Yeah? They're already thinking in their head, well, if we come second, it doesn't matter.
What do you get?
I want to win.
Go and win.
I want to win. I want to win the title.
It's mad. And this is the thing. I said this to Henry earlier. If Arsenal finish second, we've had the same season as Tottenham. We've won nothing. The only difference is we had a bit more excitement in our season.
I think the thing about it is that it will hurt us, hurt their fan base because we were leading for so long. And, you know, sometimes, right, when you look at it, you know, one of the things that, you know, for some of us have, we still have an inferiority complex towards the big teams, especially Man City. But this was a time for us to win the league and win it well. But you know what? There's so much football to go at the moment that we don't know what's going to happen. But the situation is that we can't predict the future. But one thing is factual: if you don't keep clean sheets and you don't defend properly against a team that's which I call a home team, but not very good away. Can you imagine what a good team would do with good players? Because the other day, you know, you think about it, right? We're playing Chelsea, regardless of what Arsenalology says. They are going to be double damn determined to stop us winning the title. Do you think they'll want us to win the title? No, they're going to play out their skins. You think how they play against Spurs to stop them from winning it, and with Leicester, they're going to do the same for us, and they're going to exploit every mistake they're going to play. I can guarantee you now that'll be their best performance this season at the Emirates if we don't buck our ideas up defensively. Trust me, the team that can't score will score because they cannot fail to score because we can't collect a clean sheet. So Arsenal, do your research, and know your football. It's the same with Man City, who, let's face it, Man City's priority is the league. Don't believe in all that nonsense about, oh yeah, it's a Champions League. I'll tell you one thing, right? They're there to create a dynasty. You know why they want to create a dynasty? Because they want to put one poke in the eye to Man United, their neighbours, who won everything in sight. That is more important to them, creating a years of domination, than winning the Champions League. Champions League's a bonus to them, so they're going to be up for it. And Newcastle think, you know what, this is another bit of our process till next season. Their fans, their board, their players will expect a challenge for trophies, and they'll be challenged for the league because they have more money. So this is a dress rehearsal against a top team like us. So if we don't buck our ideas up, we're going to be clapping on the sidelines for Man City when they win the league. Yep. It's that serious.
Yeah, it's true. But it don't matter to most people, Kenny, because they're losers. This comment's perfect. We spent 450 million under this manager. For 3.5 years, we've come 8th and 5th just to come 2nd. But that's okay for these people. If we don't win the league, these people who have party poppers out are back in the Champions League, mate. Then when we get kicked out of that, embarrassed and humiliated by a team, I don't know, Madrid, PSG, whoever it may be, because we ain't going to win it, let's be real, because we won't do what's required to go and win it, because we want to keep good relations with a football club rather than bullying them for their player. Yeah? So we'll get knocked out of that, and it'll be, first season back in it, mate. Yeah, you've got to give him another 5 years and another £500 million. His decision-making at times is pathetic. It really is. And that is why I'm so angry. But we are going to wrap this up, people. At the end of the day, if we lose the league by 5 points, 5 points behind Man City, that game at Old Trafford and that game at Anfield are the reason. Yeah, because he fucked up both subs, or both times the subs in them games.
To be honest, if we Man City are in the league, if you beat Arsenal home and away, you'll put your hands up sometimes, isn't it? So, you know what I mean? But yeah, we have been architects, and I'll always say, we defensively, which the thing about it is that last season when we weren't that strong, we were better defensively than we are now, which is curious.
Mad, isn't it? It is crazy. But we are going to wrap this up. Big up Jerome as well. He said if we don't win anything, Man United would have had a better season. Exactly. They've won a trophy. It's crazy, isn't it? But it's not about trophies, mate. We've got bigger fish to fry. I'm not quite sure what the fish is yet, but if we don't fry the fish, it don't matter anyway because nobody expected us to fry it. But there we go. Big up everyone inside, man. Make sure you are smashing the like button, and make sure you subscribe to JEZ'S channel, Arsenal History and More. What you got coming up, Jez?
Wednesday night, 6 p.m, the weekly podcast with Lee, Kenny, and TJ Warren from Great Bloke, got his own YouTube channel, Talks Facts. Just started out and he's hit 100 in 3 weeks, so well done to him. And we'll have another chat, talk about the West Ham game, and just see what anything else comes along.
There we go. Do you think Trent would work in midfield? Trent's not a footballer, mate. He's shit. And I did see that. Mad, isn't it? Mad. How things work, and it's sitting in cars, Datsuns and that, getting less views than somebody else. Anyway, on that bombshell, what you got coming up, Kenny?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I'm going to be get a drink, maybe have some medication, and probably write a letter of support for Constantine Casadis, the lineup, because the cancer culture from a lot of people is disgraceful. Mark Housey can't, because you've got a beef with the professional referees because they kicked you out of their circle. You're calling for an 8-match ban. Shame on you. Keith Hackett, who's not a professional referee no longer, is suggesting he should be banned in Clattenburg. I mean, come on, mate. Cancel culture. What would you do if someone put their hand in you? You shrug it off. If they meet your elbow, well, when you do that to shrug them off, what do you expect? You're not going to be met with a palm, are you? Come on, give the guy.
Maybe they should have the same energy for when players are standing right in the linesman's face, screaming and shouting at them, innit? Like, when the ball goes out of play and there's a foul and they're right in their face. Maybe these
Lee,
people should have the same energy.
Cancel culture is basically an illness. And the thing about it is that a lot of people call themselves good people and understanding people. If you're a good person, you'll never want someone to lose their job and leave their life in disgrace, so they're depressed and feel suicidal. Good people don't do that.
There you go. But they're waiting for the next person, and this guy is obviously the next person. And when he gets cancelled, they'll be sitting there going, "Now we go to this person, and now this person." It was Lee Mason the other week, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean? A certain channel out there were getting a petition out there, I think, weren't they, to try and get a geezer sacked from refereeing, so he could never referee ever again. The difference between that and the manager getting sacked is the manager will go on and have another fucking job somewhere else. The referee, once he's done, he's done.
He's done, yeah. I mean, you look at these referees. The next best thing to playing is refereeing, and they would have done it from the age of 14, and they had beef, and because one baby put his hand on the referee, and the referee just shrugged him off. You know, it's cancel culture. I don't like that. And then you've got people being outraged. Come on, he shrugged him off.
Yep, 100%. But listen, I'll be back again tomorrow.
He didn't do it like that into his throat. He just went, get off.
Yeah.
Get off. Get off.
Yeah, all cry babies, mate. I'll be back again tomorrow. I'm on with Terry and Rants on here. Terry on his channel and Rants on here as well. So we'll have a video out on the second channel tomorrow. Let's keep your eyes peeled for that. Maybe we should talk about cancel culture. Maybe that's what we should do. Or why English football clubs.
I think you've got to have to, because it's become since in the last 2 or 3 years, it's become like an illness in its extent. People get so much pleasure out of someone's misery. You know what I mean?
Well, what I could do is I could speak about why English football clubs are the only clubs on the planet that are followed by losers that ain't interested in winning anything.
I've got one for you, but you ain't going to like it.
Go on.
The Premiership is the best league in the world. What a bloody myth. It isn't. It's a farmers' league like everyone else's.
Well, it's not the best in terms of quality, mate, because no fucker can cross a ball properly. And on that bombshell, we are out of here, people. Make sure you sub to JEZ'S channel. Link in the description with Kenny's Insta. And we're going. Laters. Ciao.